It came to pass, when I.e.su had risen from the dead, that he passed 11 years speaking with his disciples, and instructing them up to the regions of the first statutes only, and up to the regions of the first mystery, the mystery within the veil, within the first statute, which is the 24th mystery, and below those which are in the second space of the first mystery, which is before all mysteries, the Father in the likeness of a dove. And I.e.su said to his disciples, I am come from that first mystery, which is also the last mystery, the 24th mystery. For his disciples knew not that mystery, nor did they understand that there was anything within that mystery. But they thought that that mystery indeed was the chief of the pleroma, and the head of all that exists. And they thought it was the end of all ends, for I.e.su had said to them concerning. It surroundeth the first statute, and the 5 impressions, and the great light, and the 5 supporters, and even the whole treasure of light. Moreover, I.e.su had not told his disciples the whole distribution of all the regions of the great invisible, and of the 3 triple powers, and of the 24 invisibles, with all their regions, their aeons, and their orders, according to the manner of their distribution. For they are the emanations of the great invisible, nor of their ungenerated, self-generated, and generated, their light-givers and unpaired, their rulers and authorities, their lords and archangels, their angels and deacons, their workmen and all the habitations of their spheres, and all the orders of each one of them. Nor had I.e.su told his disciples the whole distribution of the emanations of the treasure, nor their orders, according to which they are distributed. Nor had he told them their saviors, according to the orders of each as they are. Nor had he told them what are the guardians which are beside each gate of the treasure of light. Nor had he told them the region of the Savior of the twins, who is the child of the child. Nor had he told them the regions of the 3 amens, in what regions they are distributed. Nor had he told them in what region are the 5 trees, or the 7 amens, which are also the 7 voices. What is their region according to the manner of their distribution? Nor had I.e.su told his disciples of what type are the 5 supporters, or from what region they were brought forth. Nor had he told them how the great light had emanated, or from what region it had been brought forth. Nor had he told them of the 5 impressions, nor of the first statute, from what region they had been brought forth. But he simply spoke of them and taught them that they existed, without speaking of their emanation and the order of their regions. And this is why they did not know that there were other regions within that mystery. Nor had he told his disciples, I pass through such or such a region until I enter that mystery, or when I leave it. But in instructing them, he merely said, I have come from that mystery. And this is why they thought concerning that mystery, that it was the end of ends, and that it was the chief of the pleroma, and even that it was the pleroma itself. For Jesus said to his disciples, It is that mystery which surroundeth all the pleromas of which I have spoken, from that day of which I first met with you, even unto this day. And this is, therefore, why the disciples thought there was nothing within that mystery. It came to pass therefore, that the disciples were sitting together on the Mount of Olives, speaking of these things, rejoicing with great joy, and being exceeding glad, and saying one to another, Blessed are we before all men who are on the earth, for the Savior hath revealed this unto us, and we have received all fullness and all perfection. And while they were saying these things, the one to the other, I.e.su sat a little removed from them. It came to pass, therefore, on the 15th day of the month of Tobi, the day of the full moon, on that day, when the sun had risen in its going, that there came forth after it a great stream of light, shining exceedingly. There was no measure to the light with which it was surrounded, for it came forth from the light of lights, and it came forth from the last mystery, that is to say, the 24th mystery, from the interiors to the exteriors, which are in the orders of the second space of the first mystery. And this stream of light poured over I.e.su and surrounded him entirely. He was seated apart from his disciples, and he was shining exceedingly. There was no measure to the light in which he was. But the disciples saw not I.e.su because of the great light in which he was, or which proceeded from him, for their eyes were blinded by the great light in which he was. They saw the light only, shooting forth great rays of light, and rays of light were not equal together, but the light was of every kind and of every type, from the lower to the higher part thereof, each ray more admirable than its fellow, in infinite manner, in a great glory of an immeasurable light, which stretched from the earth to the heavens. And when the disciples saw the light, they were in great fear and great confusion. It came to pass, therefore, when this stream of light had come upon I.e.su, and had gradually surrounded him, that I.e.su was borne upward, or soared aloft, shining exceedingly in an immeasurable light, and the disciples gazed after him, none of them speaking, until he had entered into the heaven. They were all in great silence. These things then came to pass on the 15th day of the moon, the day on which it is full in the month of Tobi. It came to pass when I.e.su had ascended into heaven, after the 3rd hour, that all the powers of the heavens were confused, and all were thrown one on another in turn. They and all their aeons, all their regions, and all their orders, and the whole earth was shaken, and all the inhabitants thereof. And confusion was upon all men in the world, and also upon the disciples, and all thought that the world would surely be destroyed. And all the powers which are in the heavens did not cease to be in confusion. They and the whole world, and all were shaken, the one on the other in turn, from the 3rd hour of the 15th day of the moon of Tobi until the 9th hour of the morrow. And all the angels with their archangels, and all the powers of the height, all sang from the interior of the interiors, so that the whole world heard their voice. They ceased not till the 9th hour of the morrow, but the disciples sat together in fear, and were in the greatest possible distress. They feared because of the great earthquake which was taking place, and they wept together, saying, What will be? Surely the Savior will not destroy all the regions. Thus saying, they wept together. On the 9th hour of the morrow, the heavens were opened, and they saw I.e.su descending, shining exceedingly. There was no measure to the light which surrounded him, for he shone more brightly than when he had descended to the heavens, so that it is impossible for any in this world to describe the light in which he was. He shot forth rays shining exceedingly, His rays were without measure, nor were his rays of light equal together, but they were of every figure and of every type, some being more admirable than the others in infinite manner, and they were all pure light in every part at the same time. It was of 3 degrees, one surpassing the other in infinite manner. The second, which was in the midst, excelled the first, which was below it, and the third, the most admirable of all, surpassed the 2 below it. The first glory was placed below all, like to the light which came upon Jesus, before he ascended into the heavens, and was very regular as to its own light. And the 3 degrees of light were of every variety of light and type, each excelling the others in infinite manner. It came to pass, when the disciples had seen these things, that they feared exceedingly and were troubled. But I.e.su, the compassionate and merciful-minded, when he saw that his disciples were troubled with great confusion, spake unto them, saying, Take courage, it is I, be not afraid. It came to pass, when the disciples heard these words, that they said, Master, if it be thou, withdraw thy glorious light, that we may be able to stand, so that our eyes be not blinded. We have been dismayed, and the whole world hath been dismayed, by the greatness of the light which is in thee. And I.e.su drew to himself the glory of his light. And when this was done, all the disciples took courage and came to I.e.su, and cast themselves together at his feet, and worshipped him, rejoicing with great joy. They said unto him, Master, whither didst thou go? Or on what ministry wentest thou? Or wherefore are all these confusions and shakings which have taken place? And I.e.su, the compassionate, said unto them, Rejoice and be glad from this hour, for I have gone to the regions whence I came forth. From this day forth, therefore, will I speak with you freely, from the beginning of the truth unto the completion thereof, and I will speak to you face to face without parable. From this hour will I hide nothing from you of the things which pertain to the height, and of those of the region of truth. For authority hath been given me by the ineffable, and by the first mystery of all mysteries, to speak to you from the beginning to the end, from the interiors to the exteriors, and from the exteriors to the interiors. Hearken, therefore, that I may tell you all things.